Welcome to Global Update. Today we'll be talking about an issue that's causing serious tension between Mexico and the United States. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has announced that he will be sending a diplomatic note to the United States in protest of the U.S. funding his opponents in Mexico. What does this decision mean, and how could it affect the relationship between the two countries? Stay with us to find out. In an announcement that has grabbed the attention of the international press, the President of Mexico, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, has confirmed that his government will be sending a diplomatic note to the United States before the end of his term. The reason? Funding that some U.S. government agencies are giving to the organization Mexicans Against Corruption, a group that throughout his term has been linked to strategies and organizations trying to destabilize his administration and unfairly accuse him. During his morning press conference, López Obrador expressed his concern over what he considers to be direct intervention in Mexico's internal affairs. According to him, this situation is not only a violation of the Mexican Constitution and the country's sovereignty, but also an example of the United States' bad habit of funding opposition groups in different countries. The Mexican president not only criticized the funding, but also pointed out that this financial support could have had a direct impact on the recent election, because Mexicans Against Corruption has been running a smear campaign against him and against the 4T movement that the president leads. López Obrador indicated that his government is gathering information on the exact amount of funding, and that the finance ministry will be in charge of providing this data before the diplomatic note is officially presented. In his speech, AMLO was clear in his criticism of U.S. interventionism, stating that these actions damage the image of the U.S. government and generate resentment in the affected countries. He clarified that his criticism is not directed towards American citizens, whom he considers to be decent and respectful, but rather towards the power structures that implement these policies, which he described as hawkish, authoritarian, and overbearing. President López Obrador also questioned the paradox of maintaining good cooperative relations with the United States, while, at the same time, that country finances opponents who are involved in a smear campaign against him. He emphasized that Mexicans Against Corruption is the organization that drives the conservative bloc in Mexico, and that it actively participates in political and electoral matters, with the goal of weakening his movement and his presidency. This situation has generated a lot of anticipation, both in Mexico and abroad, about the possible consequences of presenting this diplomatic note. Could this trigger a major diplomatic conflict, or is it just another chapter in the complex relationship between the two countries? The truth is that this decision by AMLO marks a high point in his fight against what he perceives as foreign interference in Mexico's internal politics. In addition to the recent statements by U.S. Secretary of State Ken Salazar on the issue of judicial reform in Mexico, where he expressed his disagreement and even mentioned that democracy in the country was under attack. All of these statements from the United States corroborate AMLO's claims about U.S. interventionism. The diplomatic note that Mexico will present to the United States is a clear message that interventionist policies will not be tolerated, and that the United States must understand that times have changed and it should not interfere with the sovereignty of other countries. What do you think about this situation? Do you think this could affect the relationship between the two countries? Leave us your comments and don't forget to subscribe to Global Update to stay informed about this and other crucial topics. See you in the next video.